I didn't fuck on command. I hated being told what to do, even by my boss at the FBI. Go undercover, she'd ordered, in the small corner of Montana where you grew up because no one else could blend in as a cowboy. I sure as hell didn't blend in as a suit-and-tie G-man. But that meant I had to settle into my old community, not as the star football quarterback they all remembered, but in the false persona of a disgraced FBI agent returning to the homestead. If that wasn't enough, being ordered around by the men I was trying to bring down was a pain in my fucking ass. I gritted my teeth and did what they wanted, although quitting and being a real disgraced FBI agent was looking better and better. Because I never expected to be told what to do with my dick. If I was 20 again, I'd have been thrilled with the assignment. Easy pussy. Now, I was questioning my entire career because it led me to this. To a wake at Billionaire Ranch. No one around here called it anything but that because the nickname explained it all. I parked in the field along with everyone else who'd come during calling hours, then hoofed it to the big house. House? Nah, it was a fucking mansion. Log walls and huge windows, river rock and slate roof. No doubt the driveway I walked up was heated to keep off the heavy snow. The massive front doors were open with people spilling out onto the wide porch and front lawn. They were either dressed in black or in crisp jeans and shirts, the closest thing to morning wear for Montanans. I tipped my hat to a woman who offered me a small smile, as if she was offering me comfort at this difficult time. She didn't know I wasn't here to offer my condolences, but to fuck some answers out of the newly crowned queen of the Wainright family. North fucking Wainright. It'd been over 10 years since I'd laid eyes on her. At 17, she'd been my baby brother's girlfriend and jailbait. I'd been the 27-year-old who'd come home to visit for the 4th of July weekend and saw her at a family picnic. I'd kept the fact that I'd thought her gorgeous to myself. Hell, every man who'd ever laid eyes on her would agree with me. She'd been so fucking pretty in a white sundress, her blonde hair long down her back. I hadn't talked to her, not once, staying as far away from someone who was too tempting and too illegal. I had no intention of poaching my brother's girl or robbing the cradle for a date, but she'd been memorable, and that made her dangerous. I'd headed back to D.C. and she'd dumped Jock a few weeks later. She hadn't crossed my mind since, until now. My job was to connect Macon Wainwright to corruption, which meant me being a lackey for John Marshall, because Marshall had been his lackey. To everyone around here, I was now only a bored cowboy with dangerous tendencies. Marshall had been more than eager to hire me. I wasn't sure if his middle name was corrupt or unethical. When Wainwright died a few days ago, he and Marshall had been in the middle of a deal. Marshall had millions to lose, so now he had a hard-on to get North Wainwright, to ensure the deal would go through. He figured the best way for an ice princess like her to talk was to thaw her out with a big dick and bigger orgasms. My cell vibrated, and I pulled it from my pocket as I stepped into the foyer. "Barnett," I murmured. People looked my way but didn't pay me any mind, returning to their muted conversations. One woman blotted her eyes with a tissue, the only obvious mourner I could see. "Well?" I knew the voice. Marshall was a persistent fuck. "Macon Wainwright's definitely dead." That was the only thing I knew for certain. He was lying in a casket 10 feet away in a snap shirt and bolo tie, hands folded across his chest. His usually tanned complexion was waxy. It seemed the only time I wouldn't see a sneer on his face was when he'd been pumped full of embalming fluid. I was sure I wasn't the only one thinking that. "That's all you got for me?" I was too old to kowtow to the asshole. I wasn't a yes man, never had been. I might be doing his bidding. I might be doing it so I could see his ass in prison, but I wasn't going to make his life easier beforehand. My attention was snagged on a woman coming down the stairs, a yellow lab following right behind. The place was so fucking fancy it had 2 stairwells, left and right, that turned and met in the middle. In this case, Macon Wainwright in all his dead glory was what was centered instead of perhaps a table with a fresh vase of flowers. North Wainwright. She sure as shit wasn't 17 any longer. I remembered the long blonde hair, the high cheekbones, full lips, blue eyes. But the grown version of North Wainwright in the flesh and a black dress that hugged her lush womanly curves. Not to mention fuck-me stilettos that did exceptional things for her legs. Fuck me. Right, I was supposed to do just that. Get her to fuck me.